The guy I want to talk about, Dom Barlow and Dom Barlow's bizarre restricted free agency. Dominick Barlow signed I believe, two-way contract. He just signed his two-way restricted free agency tender with the San Antonio Spurs. And it is baffling to me that after the way he played at Summer League and the way he played this past year for the Spurs and for their program in Austin, I guess it was, it's baffling to me that nobody tried to offer him a guaranteed contract and tried to give him not just like guaranteed money, but like real guaranteed money, right? Like let's just throw out an example, right? The Houston Rockets, because of the way that they constructed all of their deals this offseason, they maintained like that $7.7 million room exception. If I was the Houston Rockets, I would have offered Dom Barlow like a 3-year, $12 million contract, $4 million guaranteed basically per year, maybe do the first 2 years guaranteed, create some weird funky thing like the Jazz did with Paul Reed in terms of making it inaccessible for the Spurs to be able to match, and just giving him real money. If you're Houston, all you're doing is you're pissing off a local rival, which is fantastic. You're probably happy about doing that. And you're a team that is younger and is probably trying to take as many flyers on guys like Dom Barlow as you can. On top of that, after the first 2 years, if you do it only 2 years guaranteed, you could decline the third year team option and then maintain him as a restricted free agent if he really breaks out, and you continue to have his rights. It's complete. And that's just like one example. There are a number of teams out there that have mid-level exception money available. It is baffling to me that nobody went out and tried to give Dominick Barlow real money. Everything we've seen of him since he's been out of Overtime Elite, and frankly, since he was in Overtime Elite, and since he's been in an NBA scheme, says to me that this guy is an NBA player and somebody should have given him a real shot at it.
Yeah, no, I agree. He was incredibly impressive at Summer League. And especially like as the year went on, like it was funny because he was one of the guys who looked a little bit like a fish out of water with the Spurs to start the year, because they did the thing where let's give guys some run early and then send them to is it Austin?
It's Austin.
Okay.
Yep.
I always forget because that just changed recently. But yeah, send them down to Austin and then bring them back up later on in the year. And I thought he and Malachi Branham both really benefited from that. So I agree. I don't really understand why that has taken so long or why that hasn't happened. I also don't mean to shift this, but we just got a really big news hit from Pete Thamel that Arizona is in deep discussion to join the Big 12.
Yeah. So give me 1 second on that.
Yeah.
I want to finish on Dom Barlow and we'll close the loop there. The other thing about the Spurs, if you give Dom Barlow a offer sheet, I think they probably do just match it. I want to be clear about that. Like, I think San Antonio would have matched it, but it wouldn't have been the easiest thing in the world, because if you look at their salary sheet right now, they currently have, I think, something like 18 guaranteed contracts on their roster, like non-two-way guaranteed contracts. If you give Barlow a guaranteed deal, you're essentially making the Spurs cut or try and move 4 guys before the season starts, similarly to the deal that Oklahoma City is going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it actually would have been a little bit more onerous on them than what people recognize. And like they would have had to cut basically Kem Birch, Cam Payne, probably Chetty Osman, but then one of like Charles Bassey, Julian Champagny, Reggie Bullock or Doug McDermott, right? Like you probably actually have to like really maneuver and cut somebody that you don't want, or you can just not match Barlow. And I think they would have matched it. But like, if you're another team, you're just doing like Dom Barlow's agent, who I believe is Todd Ramazar, a favor. And it's just like, why would you not do that at the end of the day? Like you win favor with the agent, you get a player that's probably worth the contract you're about to give him, and you piss off the Spurs in the process. Like it's pretty good.
Yeah. No, I think I'm with you. Like I don't have any qualms with that.